Welcome back to the channel, Unconformed. Man, for a Liverpool fan, you have to be really happy right now. You cannot ask for a better start back into the Champions League with a old rival in AC Milan and getting a come from behind victory. You cannot write it. You really cannot write it. And I think it's a big deal. It's definitely a big deal, especially coming off of that loss at Anfield. Being able to go to the San Siro and get a result the way that we did is so huge for Arne Slot and the boys. And I think this result, it should push this team forward and back into better ways, right? And I think we all kind of overreacted a little bit from that last loss because we are just so not used to just not only losing, but losing at Anfield. We kind of started, ringing the emergency alarms and stuff like that and piling on top of each other. But I'm really happy to see that Arne Slot has decided to stick to his guns, not listen to me, not listen to any other media platform out there, and stick to what got him to the dance, right? What got him to where he is in his career right now. And that's being a cool, calm, level-headed, and smart manager. And you could see that today. The first 20 minutes of the match was a little shaky. I'm not going to lie. After that first goal went in, I was like, I don't know if he's the guy, man. I don't know if he's the guy. I don't know if he's the guy to lead Liverpool to the promised land, even though I literally in the previous video just said he's going to be the guy to bring us a championship. But that's how fair weather the fans are, including myself. But they steered the ship right. After that first 20 minutes, we started to see the Liverpool that we saw in the first 3 games. Calm, calculated, breaking down the opposition systematically, right? Which is what you love to see. And the boys, they responded. You can't ask for very much more, especially the boys that were specifically being called out from the last game in Salah, Szoboszlai, right? And even Cody Gakpo, right? A lot of people were coming after Cody Gakpo, but I said that Cody Gakpo is a starter type of player and not a player that you bring off the bench to be an impact sub. And he needs to be starting games, and he proved me right today. Dare I say it was his best match in a Liverpool shirt that we've seen up until this date. There was times where he was making football look easy. And I know it's not easy. Some of the stuff that he was doing was like, nah, that's ridiculous. The way that he set up that Szoboszlai goal to where he took the defender with him, full tilt, slowed down, change of pace, brought it back, completely left him in the dust, put it into a dangerous area, somebody go get it. That's how you be efficient, right? And I think that's a statement of intent to Arne Slot that like, hey, I'm not going to be on the bench for too much longer. If I keep playing like this, you can't keep benching me. And Luis Diaz, who I think has been probably the best, if not one of the best wingers in the Premier League this season, now has some serious competition after that performance. Cody Gakpo took over that match, took it by the scruff of its neck, and pretty much won us the match for us. I think him and McAllister, I think, were the 2 best players on the field today, shortly followed by Ryan Gravenberch, if he would have had a better first half. You love to see those things. But Milan were doing some really good things in the first 20 minutes, and they kind of forewent a lot of it. And I don't know why. That team, they have a lot of potential, but mentally they're just not there. And you can kind of see with some of the stuff that's happening in their own league, they're not really hitting the strides that I think they thought that they would. After that first goal, they actually were set up really smartly defense-wise, where they were playing a 4-2-4 almost, where that first line of defense was a very, very high line, almost like 15, 20 yards out from our own box. And it was hard for us to break down. But you know who was the locksmith? Alexis McAllister. He started dropping in deep and picking up the ball. They could not touch him. All game long, they couldn't touch him. That was probably one of his better games that I've seen him play. And I think he was the key for getting us out of those tight situations, moving the ball forward, moving the ball into the forward line. And has been an unsung hero for us for a long time, well, at least for the last 4 or 5 weeks now. I think he has quietly been putting together a phenomenal season. And I think he just needs a little bit more credit, mind you, okay? So put some Alexis McAllister love down in the comments. And while you're at it, make sure that you guys like and subscribe, and then put who is your man of the match so far. I already know who mine is. You may have a hint already from the beginning parts of this video. But what were your guys' predictions before the game? Were you guys correct? What does this say about Liverpool? What does this say about Arne Slot moving forward? I'd love to hear about you guys. And if you're new to the channel and you're just now subscribing, make sure you put where you are from and where you're subscribing from down in the comments. We want to grow this thing across the entire world. We got people from Ghana and Kenya and Morocco and really small islands off of the coast of France and stuff like that. It's actually really, really cool, some of the places that you guys are watching from. So make sure that you guys put that below. Special shout out to the Netherlands, because you guys are dominating our team right now and making us amazing. So Dominik Szoboszlai. Dominik Szoboszlai got called out specifically by the manager today, or yesterday and the day before. And he responded. And that's what you want to see. You want to see that from a player, that they don't shy away from the criticism and they say, boss, let me show you something. He had a phenomenal second half with Ryan Gravenberch, and at times was making it look easy in midfield, especially when the game got stretched and he got space and room to kind of do his thing. I think Sabo is a very special player, and you guys know that. He's my favorite player on the team, and long may it continue with Dominik Szoboszlai. I think he should be bagging 10 goals, 15 assists every season, plus as a Liverpool number 10, and I think that he will. And I think we still have yet to see the best of Dominik Szoboszlai, who has probably some of the best stats in all of the Premier League. If you haven't looked that up, look that up. He's created the most chances, big chances, and most passes into the final third. Some of the stats are actually kind of crazy when you really think about it. And it doesn't pass the eye test, but it's there, right? Ryan Gravenberch, let's talk a little bit about him. Quiet first half, but phenomenal second half. He turned into a little Rude Hulit Jr. One of those players that can do anything. You can put him as a forward. You can play him as a winger. You can play him in defense. Shoot, you can maybe even play him in goal, right? I love those types of players. He's only 21. I think he's turning 22 this year if he's not already 22. And we have so much more of his potential ahead. And I say this over and over and over. If you know me, you've been on this channel, I think he has potential to be better than Jude Bellingham in terms of young, athletic, up-and-coming midfielders. And a lot of people agree with that. And before they both even broke out, it was between those two anyway. So I love to see that he's finally getting his shine. He's finally getting his recognition. And like I said in the last video, that bold predictions video, I think he will be the best defensive midfielder in the Premier League this season. And mainly because I think Rodri is going to struggle a little bit with injury this season. And that's the only other guy that I can think of that would be better than this guy right now. He is balling, and I love to see it. But this is everything that you'd want to see from response from Arne Slot. So what's next moving forward? Cody Gakpo, of course, my man of the match. That goes without saying. But what's next for Liverpool moving forward? Bournemouth. Bournemouth is coming up. And it's one of those games that you think, this is one of those games that you could be like, we could trip up on that. Kind of like the Forest game. I believe Bournemouth is still undefeated. You guys will have to correct me in the comments. They're one of those dark horse teams. I didn't think Forest would be one of those, but they are as well. And they could be a team that we could slip up on. They've quietly put together a really solid team. And they'll only improve, I think. They'll only get better and they'll only improve. So Arne has to be prepared for this. I think he will rotate the team. I think we'll see Darwin start. We may see Chiesa get some extended minutes in a run into the match. But this could be a tough game, and this will be, I think, the turning point in the season for Arne against Bournemouth. But let me know what your guys' reaction is to this match today. Let me know what your guys' prediction is for that Bournemouth game coming up. We got a hell of a schedule moving forward. I'm going to be live streaming after a lot of these Champions League games every Tuesday. So make sure you guys join in on that. If you haven't already became a member of the channel, do that. It's the welcome to the club is the entry level. And you'll get extra stuff, extra access, early access to the podcast. You'll get, primary access to the podcast. The boot room is that next level up. You can become a moderator and then put your name in the hat to become one of the people that are eligible to call in to the podcast. We'll be started doing that in the fall. It should be really, really fun. But appreciate everybody who's decided to subscribe since the last video. Thank you guys. It means more than you know. You guys are helping me live out a dream, being able to talk about the club that I love with other like-minded people. So you guys have an amazing one. We'll see you on the next one. Peace. Boom.